Welcome back to Self-Help. Today we are going to be talking about the 60 rule. So I'm going to lay out the 60 rule real quick for you. The 60 rule has to do with rating how intense your emotions are on a scale of 1 to 100. So 1 being, not intense or severe at all, and 100 being the most intense, severe experience you've ever had with this particular emotion, right? So it's this full spectrum of emotion intensity. So the 60 rule comes in with this hard cutoff of a rating of 60. The idea is that anything rated 60 or below should be regulated with a certain set of strategies. Anything above a 60, you're going to need to do what's called distress tolerance, which will be covered in the next video. So this video we're going to focus on this 1 to 60 range and what you can kind of do in that range to help yourself.
Consequently, when Cam was in high school, he'd rate the girls from 0 to 100. Any girl under 60, he knew that he could go after him. Anything above 60, he knew that was
out of my league.
Yeah, for somebody like me.
That's awesome. I laughed too hard and I think So in this 1 to 60 range, there are a ton of different strategies you can try. We're going to highlight a couple, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave some really nice resources for you guys in the description section, and I will also encourage you to comment with some of your favorite resources or strategies to regulate your emotions when they're in this 1 to 60 range. So,
yeah, there's no silver bullet.
No.
Things work for different people. Try them all out.
100%. I'll just list off a few of my favorites. Practicing mindfulness is one that I really like, and that's something that'll be covered very soon in some future videos. Another one is even that idea of like the first video where you're observing and describing and labeling your emotions. So that's another thing that'll help. The one that I chose to really focus on for this video, though, is one that I think you will like, and it is problem solving.
I love problems. Sometimes I just create them just so that I can go solve them.
Ha!
Stir in the pot. No, yeah, I love it.
This is an effective strategy when the situation is the problem, not necessarily when another person is the problem or when something that's completely out of your control is the problem, but when the situation you're in and you have a little bit of control over that, that's when this is going to help. Because when it comes down to it, sometimes changing the situation in whatever way you can is the best way to regulate your emotions.
So that's like, let's say I'm getting frustrated.
Okay.
And I'm just like, red triangle named Bert. I'm just starting to get upset, and I go, you know what? I'm angry right now. I need to go take a walk. That's changing the situation.
Changing the situation.
Didn't fix the problem, but it did adjust the situation in a way that allows me to scale down, pull back, and take that breath or two.
Right, and sometimes that might be the only thing you can do, especially if you're in an argument with someone else and you can't change or force them to see it your way.
Even though I'm right.
Always. In that scenario, it would be helpful then to take a walk. That's problem solving, right? Interpersonal relationship problem solving at its finest. For problem solving, especially when we're considering emotion regulation, there are 6 steps you can follow. We're going to start with number 1. So number 1 is describing what is problematic about the situation. So you're taking a look at the situation and you're really pinpointing where the problems are coming from. The second step is to define the obstacles. You want the problem to be solved, so you need to understand what is in your way or what is stacked up against you from solving it.
Often at work, because I do problem solving for work, right? I say, what's the perfect state? And then I ask, why can't I be there right now? And then you focus on that. There's no need to focus on anything else except for what is keeping you from being where you want to be this moment.
Yep. What is keeping you from the solution.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That actually segues perfectly into number 3, which is defining what it is you want or what the goal is. And it's important here to define what you want as opposed to what you don't want. Because it's easy to come up with all these things of what we don't want. But if we're always focused on what we don't want, we're never actually going to be super clear on what it is we do want and when we get there. So knowing what you want. Number 4 is brainstorming a lot of solutions. What's fun about this is that anything goes. And when I do this with clients, we sometimes get real crazy of like, oh, well, I could build a rocket ship and go fly on the moon and create a habitat there, and then that would solve my problem.
Can we role play this?
Yeah.
All right. Wait, what's the problem?
Okay, the problem is you're having a hard time connecting in your romantic relationship. No. So the situation then, for example's sake, will be that you have this sibling. They really bother you and get under your skin.
Okay, so they're bothering me. I can leave and not talk to them.
Okay.
I can tell them how I feel. I can try to change how I act toward them. Mm-hmm. I can think of them as a different person.
Yeah. I can go behind my bed and with a small pocket knife cut a tally mark into the drywall every time they bother me.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
Yeah, actually, let's cut that out. I don't know what that one was about. But anything goes, so.
Make a voodoo doll?
Make a voodoo doll. I tell my parents every time they bother me.
Yeah, oh, good. That's smart. I can write them a strongly worded letter and then never actually send the letter.
Yeah, burn the letter. Yeah. We're coming up with great ideas.
Yeah. And you should be paying me.
So this is just to illustrate that really it's a brainstorming session where you're just coming up with any idea for a solution and anything goes.
I understand what is problematic.
Yep.
I describe the obstacles, and then I know where I want to go.
You know what you want.
I know what I want, and then I find solutions, and then
you choose a solution that is feasible and seems like it is actually going to be an effective method to solve the problem.
Okay.
Okay, so it really just comes down to like looking at your list of everything you thought of in your brainstorm session and say, okay, looking at this list, this option looks like it's going to be the best option for me and the most effective right now.
And then I do it.
That's number 6. You implement that solution, or you actually carry it out.
Okay.
And again, this is just one possible strategy. And in the description below, you're going to find some of my favorites, and feel free to comment and tell us what your favorites are.
Yeah.
As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to watch the next video where we're actually going to talk about what to do when you rate your emotional intensity above a 60. See you then.